It's pure joy, excitement, and celebration. This special really is a gift not only to the fans, but for myself as well. It's really an honor to kind of celebrate this evolution.
She put the blonde wig back on. For the first time in 15 years, Miley Cyrus stepped into a soundstage, stood in front of a live studio audience, looked into a camera, and said the words, "Good to be home." She re-recorded Best of Both Worlds from scratch. She performed This Is the Life for the first time in 2 decades. She cried. The audience stopped chanting Hannah and started chanting Miley instead, and she said later that that moment broke her open in a way she did not expect. 4 days from now, on March 24th, the Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special drops on Disney+. And before it does, here is everything that happened, everything that was said, and everything it actually means. Everything in this video is based entirely on verified reporting from Variety, Rolling Stone, Good Morning America, Today, People, the official Walt Disney Company press release, Disney Plus Press, and a direct interview with Miley Cyrus conducted by Variety ahead of the special's premiere. All quotes are real, fully attributed, and drawn from the public record. This is a complete factual breakdown of one of the most anticipated pop culture events of 2026, told the way it deserves to be told, with the full context of what it actually means. Start with the number 20. Because it is easy to say and remarkably hard to actually feel until you sit with it for a moment. Hannah Montana premiered on the Disney Channel on March 24, 2006. Miley Cyrus was 13 years old. She was the daughter of country singer Billy Ray Cyrus, a kid from Franklin, Tennessee, who had been cast in a show about a teenager leading a secret double life as the world's biggest pop star. The premise was cartoonish on paper and completely irresistible in practice. By day, she was Miley Stewart, an ordinary girl going to school in Malibu, dealing with friends and crushes and homework and a very loud family. By night, with the help of a blonde wig, a rotating closet full of rhinestones, and a father who was also her manager, she became Hannah Montana, global icon, sold-out arena performer, and the kind of pop star that every child watching genuinely believed they could become if they found the right wig. The show ran for 4 seasons until January 2011. In those 5 years, it earned 4 Emmy nominations for Outstanding Children's Program, spawned 14 platinum and 18 gold records worldwide, produced 2 major films, the Best of Both Worlds concert film and Hannah Montana, the movie, the latter of which gave the world the climb and turned Miley Cyrus into one of the most recognizable teenagers on the planet. The merchandise alone was a multi-hundred-million-dollar business. The tickets to the Best of Both Worlds tour in 2007 were reselling at prices that would have made Taylor Swift's Eras tour nervous. Hannah Montana was not just a Disney Channel show, it was a phenomenon, and Miley Cyrus was both its engine and its prisoner. Because here is what is important to understand about the gap between when the show ended and this week. Miley Cyrus did not just grow up and move on from Hannah Montana the way most child stars age out of their early roles. She actively dismantled the character as an act of self-preservation. The year 2013's Bangers era, the short hair, the tongue, the foam finger, the VMA performance, the wrecking ball, was not simply a rebrand. It was a declaration. It said, "I am not that girl, I am not that wig, and I need you to see me differently, or I will make it impossible for you not to." A lot of people criticized her for it at the time, some still do, but what she has said repeatedly in interviews over the years is that if she had not broken the Hannah Montana image so completely and so publicly, she believes she would have been trapped inside it indefinitely, the character consuming the person. The distance she created was necessary, and what makes this week's announcement extraordinary is that she is now choosing to close some of that distance on her own terms from a position of power she absolutely did not have when she was 13. On February 17, 2026, on her official social media channels, Miley Cyrus confirmed what fans had been speculating about for months. A short teaser clip showed a black and gold stiletto stepping out of a vintage Ford Mustang with a license plate reading HM20. The car pulled up to stage 9 of a studio lot. In the background, faintly at first, and then unmistakably, Best of Both Worlds began to play. No announcement graphic, no text on screen. Just the boot, the car, the lot, and the song. Within 3 hours, the clip had 14 million views. The internet did not just react, it collapsed. The full announcement followed within hours. The Hannah Montana 20th Anniversary Special would stream on Disney Plus and Hulu on March 24, 2026, exactly 20 years to the day that the show first aired. It would be filmed in front of a live studio audience. It would include a full in-depth interview with Miley Cyrus, hosted by Alex Cooper, the host of Call Her Daddy. It would feature never-before-seen archival footage from the original production. It would rebuild key sets from the show, including the Stewart family living room and the legendary Hannah Montana rotating closet, in full detail. And there would, according to the official Disney press release, be some familiar notes that find their way back into the spotlight. That last phrase was deliberately understated, and fans immediately started pulling it apart. Familiar notes, not familiar faces, not a guest appearance. Notes, as in music, as in the blonde wig was coming back with a microphone attached. And they were right. Ahead of the special's premiere, Variety published a full sit-down interview with Miley Cyrus, one of the most candid and revealing she has given in years. In it, she described going back to the soundstage on the day of filming and being hit by something she had not anticipated. She said she had been thinking about the event primarily in terms of the fans, in terms of what would make them feel honored and celebrated, and that she had not fully prepared for what it would do to her personally. She told Variety that she had not sung Best of Both Worlds since 2008. That is 18 years. She had walked away from it completely following the end of the concert tour that year, and when she went back to rehearse for the special, she said it came back to her immediately, like riding a bike, to the point where she found herself correcting the choreographers when they tried to update the original staging. Her words were direct. "It ain't broke. Don't fix it." The preparation for the special had begun in December 2025, and Miley told Variety it had been in the Disney exec's words, mad dash from January onward. One of her key decisions early on was to recruit Alex Cooper as the person who would interview her on camera. Her reasoning was specific and worth understanding. She said Cooper understood Hannah Montana as a fan, from the inside, the way a child who grew up with the show understood it, and that this was something Miley herself could not offer. She had lived the show. She had never watched it the way the audience did, bringing someone who had allowed Miley to see the celebration through the eyes of the people it was actually for. Cooper, who is a self-described Hannah Montana superfan, helped shape the event around what fans genuinely wanted, including pushing back on some of Miley's own ideas. Miley described the dynamic with genuine affection, saying Cooper would tell her directly, "As a Hannah fan, no one wants that." That kind of honest creative input shaped a special that, by early accounts, does not feel like a corporate nostalgia product. It feels like something someone actually cared about. The trailer dropped on March 17th, and it confirmed several things that sent social media into full meltdown mode. The official Variety exclusive confirmed that Miley re-recorded both Best of Both Worlds and This Is the Life, specifically for the special. These are not archival recordings. They are new vocal performances done in 2026 by a 32-year-old woman with a Grammy on her shelf and a decade of artistic evolution under her belt. Re-recording them was a deliberate choice. She wanted them to sound like her now, not like she sounded at 13. And based on everything that has been reported about the filming, that choice made an already emotional event into something considerably more powerful. The trailer itself opens with nostalgic footage of Cyrus as Hannah Montana, cuts to her driving a convertible through Malibu and Hollywood in the iconic blonde wig with the HM20 license plate, and arrives at the soundstage where she steps out of the car, looks around, and says the words, "Good to be home." Then she walks through the stage entrance and the familiar opening bars of Best of Both Worlds begin. The reaction online to those 22 seconds of footage was, there is no other word for it, emotional, not excited, not hyped, emotional. Adults in their late 20s and early 30s, people who grew up with this show, sat in front of their phones and cried watching a woman in a blonde wig step out of a car and say she was home. That reaction tells you something real about what Hannah Montana actually was for the people who grew up with it. And Miley, to her enormous credit, understood it. She told Variety explicitly, "I did not want irony. This is not a joke. My point of doing this was not to break the internet. My point was to make the fans feel seen. My entire life is because of that loyalty." The special also includes a moment with her mother, Tish Cyrus Purcell, who was not only present at the filming, but is one of the executive producers. Tish was central to the original creation of the show. She was involved from the very beginning in building Hannah Montana as a concept and a character, and the trailer includes a clip of Miley and her mother sitting together inside the rebuilt Hannah Montana closet. Miley looks at her mother and says, "You really taught me to be who I am." There are also moments with Billy Ray Cyrus, Miley's father and original co-star, who played her father Jackson Stewart on the show. The family dimension of the special, the fact that the real-life Cyrus family is revisiting something they built together, adds a layer that no scripted reunion could manufacture. And then there is the Selena Gomez moment. Gomez, who guest starred on Hannah Montana as a child star herself, appeared as a surprise cameo on the day of filming. It was Alex Cooper's idea, and Miley told Variety that she had not fully understood how much the friendship between herself and Gomez meant to fans until she saw the audience react. She said simply, "I love Selena, but I didn't know how much our friendship meant to the fans." That particular sentence, delivered with genuine surprise, captures something about what happens when a person's life and work belong, in some meaningful way, to the people who watched it. The most talked about moment from the special, before it has even aired, is what happened when the live studio audience was told to chant Hannah before Miley returned to the stage for her final performance. They started the chant. And then, organically, without any instruction or direction, the chant changed. The word Hannah dropped away and was replaced by Miley. She heard it from behind the curtain before she walked out. She told Variety it was really emotional. She said, "I think they felt like, we want to make sure Miley feels like we're equally celebrating her 20th. It's not just about the show itself, it's about the entire evolution of myself growing." That is the sentence that explains why this event matters in a way that goes beyond nostalgia. Hannah Montana is not just a show Miley Cyrus did when she was young. It is the foundation of an evolution that she has been living in public for 20 years. From Disney Channel child star, to the chaos of the Bangers years, to the rock-leaning authenticity of Plastic Hearts, to the Grammy-winning refinement of Flowers. Each chapter has been watched by the same audience, growing alongside her. Coming back to Hannah Montana now is not a step backward. It is a completed circle. It is someone at the peak of their career reaching back to shake hands with the version of themselves who started the whole thing. The special airs on Disney Plus on March 24th. In addition to the special itself, Disney has made all 4 seasons of Hannah Montana, the Hannah Montana movie, and the Best of Both Worlds concert film available on the platform leading up to the premiere. A dedicated non-stop streaming channel began running all 4 seasons on February 19th. The show has also spawned a new wave of merchandise tied to the anniversary, which has already been selling out in pre-orders. And Miley, who was inducted as a Disney legend in 2024 and given permission to perform Hannah Montana songs in public for the first time since leaving the studio, has also confirmed that she will perform a brand new original song during the special. Something that has never been heard before, written specifically for this moment. She has been working on that song, on new music broadly, on whatever comes next. In January 2026, she told a reporter she was working hard on something big but would not share details. The fan community has been reading every studio sighting, every cryptic caption, every interview hint like a map. What they know is that the last time Miley Cyrus had this much cultural momentum behind her, the streaming numbers, the award recognition, the goodwill, she dropped Flowers. And Flowers turned into a global anthem that still has not left the playlists. Whatever she does next will arrive not as a star climbing, but as a star who has already arrived and is now deciding what story she wants to tell. Here is what I keep coming back to about all of this, because there is an easy version of this story and a true version, and they are not quite the same. The easy version says Miley Cyrus is returning to Hannah Montana because nostalgia sells, and Disney knows it and everyone wins commercially. That version is not wrong. Nostalgia does sell, Disney does know it, but it is also incomplete, because the version Miley herself has described, in the most detailed interview she has given about this in years, is the version where she genuinely could not have done this 10 years ago, where she needed the distance, needed the Bangers era, and everything that came after it to reach a point where returning to that character felt like a choice rather than a surrender, where she is standing in the rebuilt closet with her mother saying, "You taught me to be who I am," and meaning every word of it. That is not a brand activation, that is a person closing a loop they have been carrying for 20 years. Hannah Montana premieres on Disney Plus on March 24th. If you grew up with the show, you already know whether you are watching. If you did not grow up with it, or if you only know Miley through Flowers and Wrecking Ball and the Grammy stage, this special is the document that explains how she got from there to here. It is worth an hour of your time. If this kind of honest, detailed breakdown of pop culture moments is what brings you here, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment below. Tell me your first Hannah Montana memory. Tell me which song you are hoping she performs in the special. Tell me whether you cried at the trailer, because based on social media, you are definitely not alone if you did. I read every single comment. I will see you in the next one.